Remember the time J2 defeated Sabreclaw without using his arms? Or when Captain America turned into a star? What about that time American Dream smashed through a window on a motorbike to recover a WMD? If none of this sounds familiar to you, then you might not know Marvel Comics 2. The end of the 90s was a difficult time for Marvel. It's hard to imagine now, given the success of the MCU, but the publisher was in a bad place, having filed for bankruptcy and was in deep financial woe. Recovering from this low point, Marvel were trying new titles and imprints to try and boost sales. Marvel Comics 2 was a series of comics launched in 1998 with a simple but extremely effective idea. This alternate dimension would be set at the end of the millennia, but with the idea that all the heroes we are familiar with from Earth 616 would have aged. In this universe, on Earth 982, the original Avengers disbanded and Spider-Man and MJ were allowed to develop and have children. Without those original heroes, it's up to a new generation to step up and protect the world, forming the basis of the new storylines in this universe. In the first year, Marvel released 3 new titles as 12-issue maxi series: Spider-Girl, A-Next, and J2. Spider-Girl's origins can be found in DeFalco's What If issue 105, where MJ and Peter's daughter, May Parker, shows signs of powers at a basketball game. Learning of her dad's past, May takes up the mantle to defeat a new Green Goblin, her cousin. The story continues in the Spider-Girl series, also written by DeFalco, with May carving out her new identity and her place in the world, making friends and battling foes like Mr. Nobody and Kilowatt. This relatively popular series had several spin-offs and ran to 100 issues. A-Next was set around the new team of Avengers, made up of the likes of Speedball, Mainframe, Jubilee, Jolt and Stinger. These heroes had a similar origin to those original Avengers, as they formed to fight off a threat from Loki. Their adventures together saw them interacting with some of the original and now much older team of Avengers. Another founding member of A-Next was J2, son of Juggernaut. In what seems like an interesting decision now, J2 was given his own series, discovering his powers during high school and becoming a hero whilst dealing with the legacy of his dad. The overarching themes of these books were made to appeal to a younger audience. There were lots of children of heroes and villains taking up the mantle. Many were still in education and therefore relatable to kids in the real world as they dealt with their own bullies and crushes. The universe expanded with 2 new series in Wild Thing, Daughter of Wolverine and Elektra, and Fantastic Five. These 2 series marked a downward trajectory for the universe, however, as deals to sell them at Kmart and Target fell through, leaving them cancelled after only 5 issues each. Spider-Girl did continue, however, and there was a couple more limited series printed based within the universe in Dark Devil and The Buzz, but sales were not particularly impressive. What's interesting to note is what else was happening around Marvel at the time. Marvel Knights imprint on Joe Quesada and Palmiotti's Event Comics was founded in 1998, establishing some very influential comics such as Daredevil and Punisher, bringing in some top talent with the likes of Bendis and Ennis. In 2000, Marvel started the incredibly popular Ultimate Universe, aimed at reimagining Marvel characters in a contemporary yet grounded setting. Marvel Knights and the Ultimate Universe were both other examples of Marvel trying new things, but they were arguably done much better than Marvel Comics 2. Marvel Knights had more of the upcoming talent, and the Ultimate Universe had enough overlap with the Marvel Comics 2 universe's audience that they were competing. The difference was, Ultimate Comics had the A-list characters, whilst Marvel Comics 2's heroes were largely unknown to the wider public. Imagine you're fairly new to comics. Do you pick up the copy with the X-Men or the Hulk, culturally known figures on the cover, or the ones with the likes of J2 or Mainframe on? Marvel Comics 2 universe continued though, with a popular storyline, Last Hero Standing. As heroes suddenly start to go missing, the remaining ones must uncover who is behind it. And in 2006, this storyline was followed up with another, The Last Planet Standing, with Galactus devouring the Shi'ar home planet and Asgard, leaving Earth next on the menu. There was a big problem with Last Planet Standing, however. It had been penned to be the end of the Marvel Comics 2 universe, however due to fan backlash it was changed. This resulted in what I think is a terrible ending for the series. Spoilers, skip ahead maybe 10 seconds if you plan to read this, but Silver Surfer turns up and essentially merges with Galactus, undoing everything that had happened in the previous issues. It was essentially one step above it all being a dream. This allowed the universe to limp along. Campaigns from DeFalco and fans had stopped Spider-Girl from being wound up, with several new series released. American Dream would get her own limited series in 2008, and even teamed up with characters from the main universe in 2011's Captain America Corps. Spider-Girl even made it into the Spider-Verse storyline in 2014, but besides that, the universe has mainly been consigned to the history books. The comics did have a lot of charm. DeFalco's J2 series in particular felt very reminiscent of some early Spider-Man stories. Simpler, but in the best kind of way. In the words of DeFalco, we are old school because A, our heroes act like heroes. B, we don't believe in decompression. C, we tell single issue stories with subplots that build from issue to issue. And D, there's a lot of action and angst in every issue. That old school feel brought the charm, and that brings home a feeling of nostalgia to some of us who've been reading comics for many years or enjoy older series. But nostalgia doesn't sell comics to new readers. Overall, I don't think it offered enough. It also lacked the talent both present in the Ultimates universe and Marvel Knights comics, but I know many of you may have different feelings about it. What do you think? Do you think there is room in the current universe to dust off the likes of J2?